What's good, sports fans? Let's talk about the whole Joel Embiid situation. Now, Joel Embiid is the front runner for MVP. He's having a phenomenal season this year, right? Putting up Wilt Chamberlain type numbers and deserves to be the front runner for MVP. But he's in danger of not qualifying for the award because he may miss too many games. Now, there's a new rule this year where you have to play at least 65 games to qualify for major awards like MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, All NBA, so on and so forth. And he may miss too many games. Now, some people are going to be upset about the rule itself, but why do we have the rule? Let's look at last year, for example. The Golden State Warriors had 2 games in New Orleans where they sat their starters. Now, the reason they sat their starters was to manage their load. Both of those games came at the end of busy stretches where they had 4 games in 6 nights or 5 games in 7 nights, something to that effect. So they decided to sit Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green in both of their games in New Orleans. So the fans of New Orleans who paid their hard-earned money to watch a Steph Curry, to watch a Klay Thompson, to see if Draymond Green would lose his mind that night, didn't get to see them because they decided to load manage those players. That's the type of stuff that can't happen because NBA fans deserve, after they pay their hard-earned money to watch them, to see their favorite players play. So if Joel Embiid does not win the award this year because he misses too many games, don't blame the rule itself. Blame the reason for the rule, and that's your fellow colleagues for missing games and for managing their loads. Now, Joel Embiid is not the only player that will be affected by this new rule. Tyrese Haliburton is another player that may be affected in a major way by this new rule. Now, he has missed a lot of games this year due to various amount of injuries, but he's having a phenomenal season. He's definitely somebody who would be All NBA if he plays enough games. But he can only miss like 3 or 4 more games before he is disqualified for the major awards. Now, the reason it's important for him to make All NBA is that it's tied to his contract. If he makes All NBA this season, the value in his contract goes up in a major way. That's the real issue. The issue isn't that there's a minimum amount of games you have to play to qualify for awards. The issue is, why is the awards attached to the value of your contract? Anybody who watches basketball, who's a real basketball fan, knows that Tyrese Haliburton's a max player. So why does the award affect the value of his contract when the Indiana Pacers know he's a max guy? That's the issue. The issue is the reason we had the rule in the first place and the fact that awards are tied to the value of your contract. So don't get mad about the fact that you have to play 65 games when playing basketball is your job. Get mad at the fact that there's rules put in place because your fellow players didn't play enough games, and that the fact that the Players Association allowed awards to affect the value of your contract. So I need players to think about the bigger picture before they react to rules that ask you to play basketball when your job is to play basketball.